Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I thank you all for joining the session, and I believe you are enjoying the great ideas and you will get opportunity to take away heaps of information from the sessions of DITAWORLD 2023. I am Divraj Singh, Senior Manager Solution Consulting at Adobe. Today, the keynote from Vivek must have inspired you about the revolution that artificial intelligence is bringing and potential that is yet to be uncovered from it. The world of content creation is constantly evolving, and artificial intelligence is quickly becoming a major player in driving our approach for any project. Machine learning is the most dominant mode of AI because machine learning algorithms find pattern in data and infer rules on their own. That is, they learn from data and improve over time. These patterns can be used for automation and prediction. But let's explore and talk about the opportunities that Vivek has summarized in the keynote. In the content management, the buzz is about what OpenAI has recently developed. Vivek spoke about it. A text generation algorithm called GPT-3, which is capable of creating content that is indistinguishable from content written by human beings. OpenAI is revolutionizing the content creation process by utilizing AI and machine learning, making it easier and faster than ever before to create high quality content. As OpenAI continues to develop new and innovative technologies, it will only further improve how content is created. One of the applications of AI in content creation is definitely automated writing, which helps authors to create content much faster as they can use the suggestions from content written elsewhere. Another way AI is changing content creation is through personalized content recommendations. AI can be used to generate content tailored to the individual user or for a business stream. For example, an AI powered system can make recommendations based on users' past behavior or suggest related content and create custom content to suit a user's interest. AI powered system can be used to generate content quickly and at scale. This could be used to quickly generate content for websites, social media, or even print publications. OpenAI's technology could be used to help content creators generate the ideas quickly, and it reduces the amount of work they have to do or these authors have to do. Writers can quickly generate multiple drafts of the content without spending hours researching and writing. This can be especially helpful for writers who lack time or resources to complete a project. However, we heard in Vivek's keynote that content creators should be aware of the potential risk as well that come with it, as adoption of this technology is still in its early stages. And there is no guarantee yet that the results produced by its algorithms are accurate and reliable. We all are unveiling this technology, but being excited about the opportunities it can bring. But we want to actually be very mindful of doing it the right way. You have to gain this opportunity that seldom are the life events when we can make corrections and build foundation for years to come. Now, different organizations or teams have different intent or goal or focus of automation. Beyond the concerns that we know around adapting the new technology because of the trust that is yet to be built around it, there is a need to apply the technology with appropriate context. All this is simpler for content like email, chat, campaigns, etc. However, when writing the product documents, manuals, or new features, writers cannot rely on generic learning algorithms. We do understand that special content needs special handling. This is where adapting the technology to a component content management system requires deep diving into what a user of a CCMS can gain from this technology to become more efficient and more cost effective. Think of a CCMS where you are authoring, searching, and using the content. The machine learning to be effective, its algorithm needs to learn on how the content is created by your organization or the industry in which your content creators operate. So the learning algorithms should build all that intelligence based on the content in your system. This is where the key differentiator is. If we enable AI on your CCMS and train the AI system on your content to give all of these benefits together. What if the author is typing in any content and the system is able to give type ahead suggestions to complete the sentences based on what you have already written? Similarly, suggestions on reusing the content, then writing it from the scratch, and avoid creating duplicate copies of the same content in the system. Helping authors to create complex content structures like tables, prologue, note, and any kind of formatted list or formatted elements. If all that help comes from the system itself, it becomes much easier for the author to operate. Similarly, if you try to search for the terms, or if the author is typing in a content and the system is able to recommend that this is a term which already exists, and or it is an acronym of a definition that already exists in the system, so that the author can create a hot link to the definition wherever it exists, or automatically adding related links for better approachability of the content that is not directly accessible, or help the user search for existing content based on natural language queries. So user doesn't have to really find out the content based on the text in it. The users can simply write a query, where is place called so and so, and the system should be able to give you the content based on the sections which are already created in your system. To deep dive and understand how this impacts daily job for content creators, think about contextual reuse. AI powered recommendation engines can keep learning on the content that you have already created in the system. And it allows new creators or the new users who are onboarding into the system with a good idea to find an existing content that they can reuse and avoid rewriting. The recommendation can be for an existing content or an image that matches the content context or the metadata, so that it could be related to existing terms or existing content without having to type in that content again. Similarly, automation can be achieved to gain efficiency by the use of autocorrect and autocomplete. So small companies who have less people but desire to generate more content with ability to process natural language and learn from industry or organization or product specific content, which is added by the users into the same system, these mechanisms can make necessary recommendation to become an effective writing assistance tool for the content creators of any industry. You can also optimize and control. Optimizing content for SEO can also become easier with this. AI powered SEO can help create top ranking, easily understandable, error free content, can improve the readability, and hence adoption by discovering the related keywords or writing or rewriting the text to be keyword focused. And then think about innovating and experimenting. With machine learning algorithms, it can generate varied suggestions when requested at different times or by different users or in different contexts. As it keeps learning from what you have already written into the system, it keeps on suggesting new content which is added to the system. So the users can accept or reject based on the fact that the users can find better options as the system suggests. So the machine learning algorithms can keep on scoring that content and gives better suggestion to the other users. Similarly, these systems which are AI enabled, they can also process natural language. So it can understand what the user is trying to write, interpret that, and convert that to a structured content which is eventually added or directed by the system rules or the business rules. So you can type in simple English and let the system write the content in a structured format. So these algorithms can help you do all that. And lastly, one of the key benefits once your content is written into the system, the experience that will greatly change with the abilities of machine learning. The search system, as we know, can make suggestions based on written content, or you can search on free text or the content which is already written there in your system. But with machine learning, it can interpret the user's query and deduce the inferences from the same content to return accurate summarized responses. Hence, this will prove out to be time saver not only for the content creators but also the consumers of the content. All these capabilities are great in general, but The algorithm that provides this efficiency gain should be accustomed to your content, to your industry, to your domain. And in the previous slide, as we saw, if machine learning can be trained on your content, it can do wonders. In the next few slides, I'm going to show you a glimpse of these capabilities adapted in a CCMS. Like, we will take an example with AEM guides, and we will then run through a short demo of each of those capabilities that I will explain in the next few slides. Okay, so the first one which we see is autocomplete. So in this case, let's say an author is writing a sentence. If there is a similar sentence written elsewhere in the system, the author was not aware. But assume that the author has written some sentences or few words, and then the system gives suggestions like, are these the words that you want to write next? If yes, the author can say, okay, I will accept those changes, and then uh, move on further, right? So this is uh, the system suggesting from the previous experience or from previous learning based on what the other users have written in other topics, right? So type ahead is very important if you are writing fresh content, but you need suggestions so that you can type and complete your content creation quickly, right? So these suggestions can be based on the industry for which you are creating the content, organization specific content that already exists in the system. It could be product related content, right? As maybe you are writing content about multiple products, but this could be uh, a suggestion based or specific to a particular product as well, based on the metadata which is associated to the content that you are writing in, etc. Or it could be user preferred information sources. Okay, so let's look at this, how it looks like in a system. Right, so this is an AEM guides interface. It is a web editor wherein you can access all the content that exists in the system, and you can also write new content there. So let's assume I have opened a document. I want to start writing a new content. And this is a template wherein the document looks something like this. It is a template where it has given you a starting point so the authors can start writing from there. Right. So what we are going to do is we are going to take an example of autocomplete or type ahead suggestions example. So we will go ahead and edit this particular topic as an author. And let's assume I have written few words there and I want the system to respond and give some suggestions as I type. So I press a space bar here and see the system has given one suggestion. Probably this is the only suggestion available, but if you want to see if there are more options, there is a shortcut key you can apply and see if there are more options. No, there are none, right? So I can simply go ahead and accept this and simply go ahead and accept this and add it, press a space bar, add more content. So you can keep on writing like this. But let's say you're working in another topic or another paragraph wherein you want to see what suggestions are given by this particular system, right? So there is one suggestion, but let's say if I want to choose more, there can be multiple suggestions if those are applicable, right? So you can, let's say, choose the second one there and then move on writing, right? So you can keep on adding more words and see how quickly you can write more content without thinking about what my next words could be when I'm writing this, right? So that's an important aspect when you are automating or giving productivity gains to your authors. Now, let's look at the second example, smart content reuse, wherein let's say I have written a paragraph, but I want to see if there are any content pieces which are written in a similar fashion, which has a similar content written elsewhere. And rather than writing a fresh content, I would want to point my content to that existing content so that I can avoid duplicacy of this content. So we are going to take this as an example and try out this in the system. So let's open another topic, which is having a template for some paragraph notes, etc. So let's assume I've written some words in my paragraph here, right? And I want to see if there is already a topic or some content written similar to this. So there could be a smart action shortcut key which you can use. And on the right side, there could be a smart suggestions panel. I can double click on this to see all the suggestions and see I have 3 of those. What I can do here is I can preview this content and see how it looks like. So this is what I have written on the left side. And this is what is already available in another topic. If I think this is the right choice, then I can go ahead and accept. Or if I want to further confirm, I can look at more information, like which all topics are using this particular content. So I can go ahead and let's say accept this. What it will do is you will see that the color of this text has changed, which means it is no more a local content. So if I do Control Z or undo the changes, you will see it was a local content, right? I could type in further into this, right? And let's say if I re-add that suggestion, and this time maybe I want to add this particular suggestion here. So you will see that this has turned blue. Now I cannot type this inside this particular paragraph because this is read only. Why? If I look at the source here, this paragraph is now actually a content reference to another topic, another paragraph, which means I'm not writing the content locally here. It's actually pointing to another topic paragraph, which is already written, right? So I'm not rewriting it again. Right. Similarly, this applies to something like notes, right? So these kinds of notes maybe are written elsewhere. I want to utilize them, right? I will use the shortcut key and get my suggestions here, right? I look at first note here, right? So this is how it looks like. This looks good. I'm going to accept this, right? So what it is going to do is it is going to add the note from the already existing topic. Okay, so the use cases can be more, but let's actually go ahead and check the other scenarios, right? So let's move on to the next one, which is related links. So primarily, when you are creating content, you want to create a recommended list of links which are related to the content that you are already writing. So primarily, you would add those related links to improve the findability or approachability of the content that you are relating, so that people will also read related topics to this particular content. Now, to add those related links into your content, you might have to search for those and you might miss out some of those. With the machine learning algorithms, the system can actually suggest you what could be the potential related links for this particular topic, right? Based on what it has learned, based on the metadata which is applied to other topics, based on the industry in which you are operating or the product that about which you are writing the content. So let's go ahead and see this example in the system. Right, so we will use the same content here, right? I'll just do Control Z to reduce the content here. And let's say there is related links section in a topic. If I just look out for suggestions here and look out for all those options, click on this smart suggestions icon, it will appear or it will showcase all the options which are available for this particular topic. Let's say I want to add this particular topic to my related links, right? I can add that, and then probably I would want to add more, right? So I can accept more related links and save my topic, right? So this is how my topic will look like now. Probably let's also add the note again, right? And so this time I'm adding a different note. And what you can do is it looks like this, but once it is done, you can go to the preview and look at your topic. Like this is how it looks like now. Okay? So very easy way to start creating your content. You don't have to worry about where all those related topics are or where those pre-existing content is created. Right. Let's look at another great example, which is Glossary. Like when you have some available terms which are already created in the system and you want to use those as you are typing and you want to write the acronyms and point those to the definition, be it defined at the end of the document, let's say. right? So it's either called glossary terms or the keyword or the definitions which are existing in the system. What you can do is, let's say you are writing some content in there, right? So there is already one abbreviated form added, but obviously these terms should exist in your context, and the context is primarily uh, the route map which is set in the editor when you are working, right? So let's say I wanted to add something like cue ball is an adapter. So as soon as I am writing this, you see like there is a suggestion made by the system that is this a term that you want to point to, right? So I would say, okay, I want to do this, right? So primarily all these terms are coming from the context, and these are the terms here. So if I write exactly one of these as a text, the system is going to suggest that whether you want to include that as a term or a definition here or not, right? Now let's look at another example of this, right? Authoring Copilot, which is one of the major features which we can look at when we want to automate or improve the productivity. And this is one of the major or one of the critical portions when you are looking at machine learning, because as you are creating content, as new users are getting onboarded, it becomes easier and easier with these capabilities. We will take a look at some examples, right? So I'm opening one topic where I have some samples already set up, but I will give you an example with each one of those. Let's say I am new to structured authoring. I don't know how to write structured content. I don't know how to write, let's say, a unordered list in my content. What I know is that my unordered list should have 5 items, and I know the item names, right? So as a new writer, I can simply write one line here saying that add an unordered list with 5 items, so and so. Now, what I can do is, I know that this is not correct or this is not structured. I want to convert this. I can right click this particular paragraph and say Smart Actions. Now, on this screen, what I can do is, I can choose an option to say follow text prompt. What this is going to do is, it is going to interpret the command and say this is how it looks like, right? If I want to confirm, just in case, I can go ahead and look at the source. This was the paragraph. It has changed to unordered list. If I'm good, go ahead and accept this. So it's going to change that into a structured list. Similarly, let's say there is a paragraph, right? Now, this paragraph has some spelling mistakes, right? It could be a big paragraph, I don't know. So what I can do is, I can also apply smart actions to this paragraph and say, choose more option and say improve readability. What it is going to do is, it's going to find out all those errors in the content and create a better uh, looking content by optimizing it. So if I can accept, yes, I will add the updated paragraph into the topic. Similarly, let's say I want to summarize this particular paragraph into less words, right? So which is also another kind of optimization when we are looking at reducing the number of words in my content. So I can go ahead and apply smart actions there. And let's say I want to summarize this particular content into smaller or less number of words. Now, the intelligence here would be that it should retain all the key facts, right? Like, for example, the Apollo program ran from 1961 to 72, right? So it's keeping all those facts in the summarized topic as well, right? So it's doing all that. If I want to utilize this or use this, I can accept, but let's say I want to dismiss. Let's take another example on this paragraph. What I want to do is, let's say this time, I want that this particular paragraph should be translated, right? So using the APIs here, I can configure the languages and then utilize one of those and say I want to convert this to German language. This might take a little time because it has to also translate, use some additional uh, APIs to translate and also make sure the formatting is correct, etc. Right? So it will convert it to the selected language you can accept, and it will import that into the system. Right? Now, what you can also do is, I'll just do a Control Z here, and I will show you another operation on this. let's say this is one of the main paragraphs, and I want to use this particular paragraph to act as a short description on this particular topic, right? So there is no short description as of now. What I can do is I can right click, say Smart Actions, and say generate short description. So it's going to read through it, just like how it can summarize. It can also create a short description from this particular content. And when you accept, it is going to add that content as a short description instead of replacing this, right? Uh, Another example that we saw initially, where we converted our simple text to a list. This can also work for a table, right? So you can say write a table with 2 rows with so and so, right? So it can also do something like that, right? So it will create a table, you accept it, it will add a table into your content, right? Similarly, a very simple or basic use case is, let's say you have written some text there, but you are out of ideas, right? What to do. So what you can do is, let's say I've written item 1 and say help me write, right? What it is going to do is, based on the pattern that you've written, it might just create a list which says, okay, item 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So you want to insert that, yes, go and accept that, right? So it's going to just create a list or just add those paragraphs, right? So uh, those are a few examples where you can utilize machine learning and help authors to improve their productivity by thinking less and relying more on already existing content which is there in the system. So they don't have to search, they don't have to reinvent the wheel, they don't have to rewrite the content which already exists, right? So all those smart actions help the authors with those capabilities. Now, one of the last things is improving the experience. We know that machine learning algorithms understand natural language. So how to utilize this in a better way? So your content creators are writing the content, uh, but you don't know how the end users or the users are going to search for that content, right? So the great idea would be that if my system is able to interpret the user query and map it to the content which is already written, whatever content is written into the system, the machine learning algorithms or the system is able to map the queries by reducing all the content which is relevant to the query and then returning the results. There are a few examples in this screenshot. We will also see it in a demo very shortly in a few seconds. But think about that. We have written a Apollo spacecraft documentation. One of the simplest searches like Apollo spacecraft, it is going to give me, let's say, the overview topic, and you can click on the link. But look at the other query. What was the cost of Apollo program? Right? It was not written directly in the content. But the search result is able to find that out. So it is able to understand the natural language and give you the actual answer, and with a link to the content where this content is written. Similarly, what was the duration of Apollo program, right? So it can give answers like from this year to this year, and you can go ahead and read more about it, right? Now let's look at this example, how it works, right? So let's say I have this particular web output, right? It's a very basic one. Don't focus on the style, but let's look at the content here, right? So let's say there is a specifications table here, right? So what I can do as a user, let's say I've not seen this particular specifications table, I can, let's say, write what was the apex diameter of Apollo spacecraft. Right? If I search for that, this is going to go ahead and find out in all the content, and it returns you this, right? And similarly, when did Apollo project start? Right? So maybe it finds out something relevant, like it ran from this to this year to this year, right? So It's able to interpret and it is able to map the queries or map the user query to the content which is already written, right? And give you the link to directly go to that particular content piece. So all this is great when it gets applied, right? And it improves the productivity not only of the content creators, but also of the authors, as we understood from various examples. So overall, AI will have huge impact on the future of content creation. Automated writing systems, personalized content, and automated content creation will all become common. This will allow content creators to produce more content in less time and to easily provide personalized experience for the readers and the viewers of your content. AI will be a major factor in transforming the way the content is created today, shared by others in future, right? Because you would think twice when you are writing your content, because you know that there is an algorithm which is going to learn from your content and give appropriate suggestion to the other users. Right? What we have seen in the demo are some of those prospective features of AEM guides, Adobe's component content management system, and we are thinking further to make this technology work more effectively and productively for the users of AEM guides. With that, I thank you all for listening our ideas, and we are open to hear questions and get more ideas from the bright minds who are attending this session. Thanks once again.